Imagine a holiday turning into your worst nightmare. This is the story of a young teen from West London. His dream vacation to Yemen abruptly turned into a harrowing ordeal. One moment, he's soaking in the vibrant culture. The next, he's thrust into a whirlwind of confusion and fear. Arrested on trumped-up terrorism charges, a vacationer becomes a detainee in the blink of an eye. The shock of the arrest is as sudden as it is terrifying. A foreign land, once filled with the allure of exotic sights and sounds, now a cold, unfeeling prison. The accusations, baseless, the charges, false. But the reality of his predicament is all too real. He's a teenager, far from the familiarity of West London's streets, ensnared in an unfathomable nightmare. Suddenly, a teenager found himself in an unimaginable situation, thousands of miles away from home, falsely accused and powerless. From the shock of arrest, our protagonist was thrown into the merciless jaws of a justice system that cared little for truth, let down by his own government. In this harsh reality, he was subjected to unthinkable brutality. The young lad from West London, who had looked forward to a holiday in Yemen, found himself bearing the weight of false terrorism charges. Under the shadow of duress, he was forced to sign confessions, his signature etching fictitious crimes onto paper. Every stroke of the pen was a painful reminder of the injustice he faced. The methods employed were as ruthless as they were relentless. He was subjected to beatings, waterboarding, inhumane torture techniques, electric shocks, hung like a chicken, deprived from food and water. No access to consular assistance, these methods designed to break the strongest of wills. Yet, in the face of such adversity, our protagonist's resilience shone through. He held on to his innocence like a beacon in the darkest storm. Despite the torture and the false confessions, he held on to his innocence. Sentenced to a decade in prison, his spirit remained unbroken. In the dark cells of the Yemeni prison, our protagonist faced unimaginable horrors. The days merged into nights, and the concept of time became as elusive as his freedom. Each day, he was subjected to brutal torture methods, designed to break his spirit and extract false confessions. The physical pain was unbearable, but the mental torment was even more agonizing. His captors sought to strip him of his humanity, to reduce him to an empty shell. But our protagonist was no ordinary man. Despite the unrelenting cruelty, he clung to his innocence and humanity. He held on to the hope that one day the truth would prevail, and he would be free. He found strength in his resilience, in his unyielding belief in his innocence. Every beating, every act of torture only served to fuel his determination. His spirit, instead of breaking, grew stronger with each passing day. Yet even in the face of relentless cruelty, our protagonist's spirit remained unbroken. His story is a testament to the indomitable strength of the human spirit, a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. After enduring a decade of injustice, the day of release finally arrived for our protagonist. Freedom, a concept he had longed for, was finally his. Yet, it was a freedom laced with fear and uncertainty, for he was to be deported back to London, a city he once called home. His return to London was a blend of emotions. The relief of being free was overwhelming, yet the city he once knew seemed different, almost unrecognizable. The buildings were taller, the streets busier, and the faces around him unfamiliar. The life he had left behind had moved on, leaving him feeling like a stranger in his own city. His reintroduction into society was not without its challenges. The trauma of his past haunted him, making the adjustment to normalcy a difficult journey. But he was resilient, determined to pick up the fragments of his life and rebuild. Returning to London, he found himself in a city that was both familiar and alien. But he was free, and he was home. Freedom was not the end of our protagonist's journey, but the beginning of a new chapter. Thrust back into the hustle and bustle of West London, he found himself grappling with the ghosts of his past, shadows of a decade lost to injustice. His life, once filled with the innocence of youth, was now marked by the scars of his ordeal. Yet, within him, a fire of resilience burned brightly. Haunted by his past, but not defined by it, he chose to use his experience as a catalyst for change. He wrestled with his memories, not to forget, but to remember, and in remembering, to grow. Every day was a battle, a struggle to adjust, to understand, to heal. But with each passing day, he grew stronger, more determined. Each sunrise brought with it a promise of a better day, a testament to his indomitable spirit. Our protagonist's story is a testament to the human spirit's resilience in the face of adversity, a beacon of hope for those who have also faced injustice.